Hey there, night dwellers. Join the Phantom Troupe for a serene escape into dreamland with enchanting sleep stories. Let the calming tales transport you to a world of peaceful slumber and restful nights.
Hey there, I'm Isabella, your sweet storyteller. It warms my heart to have you here with me. Tonight, we're set for an adventure into the world of mystery and suspense. Get ready to be hooked by a story that unfolds in the shadows of the unknown, where every page brings us closer to an unsolved enigma. Before we dive into the gripping narrative, take a moment to let go of the day's events. Inhale deeply, letting the weight of the world lift from your shoulders. Exhale, embracing the soothing calm that surrounds you. As we embark on this mysterious tale, picture yourself on the edge of anticipation, eager to uncover the secrets that lie ahead. The story we're about to unfold draws inspiration from real-life enigmas, weaving a tapestry of intrigue that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Feel the tension in your muscles dissipate with each breath. With the day behind you and relaxation setting in, let the excitement of the unknown heighten your senses. Together, we'll navigate through the twists and turns of this suspenseful narrative. Now, as the world fades away and the mystery unfolds, allow the soothing rhythm of my voice to guide you into a tranquil state. Stay tuned as we step into the mysterious unknown, where every moment holds the promise of revelation. The Disappearance of Brooke Willette in 1989 is one of Britain's enduring mysteries, shrouded in a combination of factual evidence, speculation, and folklore that has kept the case alive for decades. As a young girl of just 16, Brooke vanished during a family holiday in the rugged, beautiful, and remote Scottish Highlands, a region known for its challenging terrain and unpredictable weather. The Willette family had planned this trip as a way to escape city life and bond as a family, relishing the natural splendor of the Highlands. The Highlands have a beauty that is as breathtaking as it is isolating. Vast expanses of heather-covered hills, deep lochs, and towering mountains create a dramatic landscape that can feel both tranquil and foreboding. It is easy to lose oneself in the natural scenery, and perhaps, as Brooke's case seems to illustrate, lose one's way entirely. Brooke Willette was known to be a lively, adventurous teenager who had a keen interest in the outdoors. She enjoyed exploring and was described by friends as fearless. Brooke's parents had reportedly arranged this trip, hoping it would help her refocus after a period of rebellion that they attributed to typical teenage angst. Her parents, Michael and Linda Willette, were devoted to her and her younger brother Ethan, who was only 11 at the time. Their journey to the Highlands was in many ways an attempt to reset and reconnect. During the days leading up to the incident, the family visited numerous historical sites and took long hikes where they encountered few others on the trails. Locals later reported seeing the family in nearby villages and inns where they seemed cheerful and relaxed. For Brooke, the trip was a balance of reluctant enjoyment. She appreciated the scenery, but often joked about how she missed the comforts of modern civilization. This attitude, though lightly expressed, may have reflected her mixed feelings about the isolated, often intense, natural environment of the Highlands. On the morning of Brooke's disappearance, the family had planned a long trek through a relatively well-traveled path along a forested area that bordered a river. The day was unusually clear, and spirits were high. Brooke was in high spirits as well, teasing her brother, sharing stories, and running ahead of her parents from time to time. Witnesses would later testify that the Willette family seemed close-knit and happy that day. Around noon, Brooke requested a moment to herself, asking her parents if she could go ahead on the trail. Her parents, trusting her judgment, agreed, allowing her a head start with a promise to catch up shortly. They believed the trail was safe, with no immediate dangers or areas where she could become lost easily. An hour later, however, when the family reached the agreed meeting spot, Brooke was nowhere to be found. Initially, they thought she had simply continued along the path, eager to explore more on her own. But as more time passed and she did not return, they began to grow concerned. They called her name, retraced their steps, and eventually sought help from other hikers and nearby locals. Panic began to set in as hours stretched into the evening without any sign of Brooke. The initial search was extensive. Local authorities, search and rescue teams, volunteers, and even tracking dogs were mobilized to comb the area. The rough, mountainous terrain and rapidly shifting weather made the search challenging. With visibility dropping due to fog and the temperatures plummeting as night fell, days turned into weeks. And despite the intensive search efforts, no concrete leads emerged. The search was hindered not only by the landscape, but by the increasingly poor weather, which led to temporary halts in the search efforts. Police grew concerned as each new day brought no trace of Brooke. No footprints, no personal items, no signs that she had even been in the area. During this time, the local community became deeply involved, with many offering resources, food, and shelter for volunteers. Folk stories about the Highlands resurfaced among locals, who warned of treacherous spots where people could vanish without a trace. Some believed that Brooke had accidentally slipped and fallen into one of the countless rivers or streams, while others speculated about caves and crevices hidden throughout the landscape where one could disappear indefinitely. As time passed without progress, various theories began to surface. The Highlands have a reputation for being mystical, with local folklore teeming with stories of supernatural occurrences. One theory that emerged was rooted in the belief in thin places, areas where the veil between the earthly realm and the supernatural is thinner, supposedly allowing for spiritual encounters or even disappearances. Though far-fetched, some locals genuinely believed that Brooke may have wandered into one of these thin places and was now lost in a different dimension. Others speculated about potential foul play, pointing to the possibility of Brooke encountering someone with ill intentions in the woods. Although the Highlands are sparsely populated, they are not entirely without residents or the occasional wanderer. Police, however, dismissed this theory due to the lack of any evidence pointing to an abduction or struggle. An equally perplexing theory involved the possibility that Brooke had decided to run away voluntarily. Though this initially seemed unlikely, the police did investigate her personal life, looking for clues that might indicate a premeditated departure. However, they found little to suggest that Brooke had any plans to leave her family behind. Her friends confirmed that she hadn't shown any signs of distress or dissatisfaction with her life back home, making this theory seem implausible. The disappearance left a deep mark on Brooke's family. Michael and Linda Willette, who had hoped the trip would bring the family closer together, were left devastated. They remained in Scotland for several months, clinging to the hope that their daughter would reappear. Brooke's younger brother, Ethan, struggled with guilt and trauma, often blaming himself for not staying closer to her that day. Local communities rallied around the Willette family, offering support and even organizing annual vigils to honor Brooke. Over time, Brooke's disappearance became part of local lore, a mystery that both fascinated and haunted those who lived in the area. New hikers passing through the Highlands would often hear Brooke's story, and some locals, out of respect, would leave flowers or markers along the trail where she was last seen. Years later, advances in technology brought renewed interest in the case. With the advent of drones, improved forensic analysis, and more sophisticated search and rescue techniques, some investigators and volunteers pushed for a new search of the area. Brooke's case was reopened in hopes of uncovering new evidence that could finally reveal her fate. During this new investigation, experts re-examined the landscape, paying close attention to previously overlooked details such as hidden caves, crevices, and underground water systems. They also utilized ground-penetrating radar and thermal imaging to survey areas that were previously inaccessible or too dangerous to search by foot. Unfortunately, these efforts yielded little more than the original search, with no new evidence of Brooke's whereabouts. One of the more recent theories involved hypothermia-induced disorientation, a phenomenon known as paradoxical undressing, where hypothermia victims remove their clothing due to a misperception of overheating. This theory could explain why Brooke might have wandered further off trail, perhaps seeking shelter or warmth in a manner that ultimately led to her becoming irretrievably lost. The mystery of Brooke Willette's disappearance remains unsolved, but her legacy endures. Her case continues to draw attention to the inherent dangers of the Highlands, reminding visitors to remain cautious, especially in isolated and rugged areas. It has also sparked ongoing discussions about the importance of improved search and rescue protocols, better signage along trails, and the psychological effects of missing persons cases on families and communities. The case has inspired numerous true crime documentaries, podcasts, and books, each adding its perspective on the mystery, often blending fact with the region's folklore and spiritual heritage. Brooke Willette's story has also inspired creative works, including novels and films that draw on the haunting themes of disappearance, the human struggle with nature, and the complex interplay between legend and reality. For the Willette family, the pain of losing Brooke remains an open wound. Her parents have since returned to their hometown, though they continue to visit the Highlands each year to honor her memory. Her brother, Ethan, has become a vocal advocate for missing persons cases, speaking out about the impact of such tragedies on families and the importance of remembrance. In the end, Brooke's story remains a poignant reminder of both the beauty and peril of the natural world. Her disappearance, while tragic, underscores the mystery and allure of the Highlands, a land where history, folklore, and the unknown intertwine, leaving unanswered questions that may never be resolved. The case of Brooke Willette stands as a symbol of the countless lost souls whose stories endure in the collective memory, haunting and inspiring those who come after.